Hello, friends, and welcome into Studio de Heffrey and Studio de Broaddus. I'm Jeff Cavanaugh from DLLS.
Very Jim Nance of you there. Hello, friends.
Hello, friends.
Hello,
Welcome
friends.
to this show,
Yeah.
where we talk about the Cowboys and sometimes the NFL draft with former Cowboys scout Bryan Broaddus and me, the guy who made Micah Parsons mad on the internet.
How'd you do that?
Oh, we were just talking in the pregame show about the Trayvon Diggs injury, and my dear friend Clarence Hill was on, and he said a bunch of things that I was like, Clarence, that's very newsworthy. I'm going to tweet it because he mentioned that the Cowboys weren't happy with the way that Trayvon Diggs had attacked his rehab on the initial injury, and
it's true.
Oh, okay, because I tweeted that after he said it, and Micah Parsons retweeted it and said, "Hold on." And said, man, y'all know what's going on. Or no, not that one. He said, bullshit. I'll drop facts one day, just not today, but this is bullshit and a bad narrative they're trying to put on my brother's name.
Yeah. Clarence lives in that building. He understands. There's a lot of people in that organization that when you look at it, and that's the responsibility. That's one of the things why guys with Overshone and others who have gone through, with Britt Brown, and Britt Brown's one of the best rehab guys in the league. I mean, I've been with, several different teams, but he gets guys back on the field, and, they work hard, and if you take it serious, him and Dak got to the point where they worked so hard that Dak had to get another surgery.
That sounds like he's terrible at his job.
No, but just that they push. I mean, they really, really, really push, and there's people in the organization that have said that when it got close to training camp, that's when Diggs got serious, and then look what he was kind of working through training camp and came back and is dealing with. He's dealing with a pretty significant injury here too, by the way. This thing it's the ACL is fine. It's the bone. There's problems with the cartilage on the bone and stuff like that they're dealing with, that they're going to have to go in there and fix. So yeah, this is not just, hey, let's go get a scope and everything's going to be cool. This thing, we're going to be right back where we were last August when you and I were standing there in Oxnard, California, and wondering when he was going to practice and stuff like that again. So I don't think Clarence Hill is off base. There's not at all. And, and I don't think anybody's putting slander out there. I think they need him to be very serious about his rehab and try and come back. I mean, he's a very significant, piece of what you have in your defense, but he's also has the responsibility of, as one of the, and I hate to look at a guy's wallet, but one of the top paid defensive players in the league. He has that responsibility of the organization to carry his end of the bargains here.
Do you have a big wallet?
Actually, I got a new wallet. It's funny because I'm going to show you something, Jeffrey. I've had this wallet.
That's about what I was expecting. Yeah. That's hilarious that you have that right here.
That wallet I've had for 37 years.
Yeah.
37 years. My girlfriend Michelle bought me a brand new wallet, and here I am 61 years old. I finally have a new wallet. I've retired this. I put this in my desk just as a keepsake. That's why it's right here where we're talking today.
It's been through some wars with you. Congratulations to that wallet for
Thank you.
Well served.
Thank you. It did its job. Yep, it did its job.
So I don't know any of the words that are involved with whatever's going on in Trayvon Diggs' knee, but I know that since it's the same knee and you use the word cartilage, I know what I think because I was a bad ACL patient.
Okay, I'll tell you what it is. I asked somebody this, and you could tell me because you've had a million knee surgeries, so you understand this. It's okay, Jeff. I'm going to spell it for you. Can you write it down?
Come on.
CHONDRAL. CHONDRAL.
Okay, a chondral injury are where damage to the knee's lining cartilage occurs.
Yeah. That's what he's
cartilage
got.
reduces friction. Oh yeah, so this makes me even more confident in putting in my prediction. Are you ready for my prediction about what we're going to hear? I don't know if they'll ever say the word, but I know what they're going to do to Trayvon Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
Trayvon Diggs didn't rehab well enough, allegedly, or fast enough, whatever. And as a guy who tore an ACL and didn't rehab well enough, and what it led to was hurting my chondrol, which is the cartilage between the bones, which means you grind that stuff down because you don't have enough muscle, which means they then do microfracture to try to get your cartilage back to create the buffer on your knee. And that sucks. So welcome to 9 to 12 months of recovery time. That's just a prediction. I don't know.
Is it called the chondral bone? Is that how you say it?
Well, chondral injuries are where damage to the knee's lining cartilage occurs. The chondral cartilage reduces friction as the bones glide against each other. So if something is wrong with that, what you get is bone on bone. When you get bone on bone, the way that they try to heal that is with microfracture, which is they go into your knee and they drill into the bottom half to get you to create a ton of blood. They make you bleed by drilling into your bone. And that blood is supposed to help you reform cartilage. That's what's supposed to happen.
Well, for a man that's had it all, thank you for explaining that to the audience. Because
get ready for the microfracture word. Get ready, get ready. Because that's what those words mean. Okay. So that's fun. I'm really excited about that. So are we first round corner? Are we ready? Or do we have more need?
Oh, well, first round corner, first round linebackers, first round, I mean, take your pick. Take your pick. I mean, seriously, it's not, you're really open. If you're going to, you're going to probably, I think the winning, I hate to do this to you Cowboy fans, but I think the winning is probably done. You're going to face, 3 legitimate teams fighting for playoff spots, fighting for seeding, fighting to win divisions, fighting for the number 1 seed, and they've got quarterback and you don't. And that's going to be a problem.
Just played a nice game. I don't know what you're talking about. Everybody's telling me they're winning with Rush again. He's our best quarterback. Dak sucks. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, keeps fumbling the ball down in the damn red zone. I mean, I might as well play quarterback if that's the case. Jesus, that's just to me that's inexcusable. But they're playing against 3 legitimate teams. They haven't played well at home. 2 of the 3 games they beat the Commanders. We'll see, but I anticipate 3 very rough games are about to happen. Defense doing a nice job though. Zim's kind of got him dialed up. Zim's kind of. By the way, the bust that they had, on right before half, communication error. They had a check and they didn't get it all the way to the outside.
Good job.
That was a problem.
Good job, team.
Oh, people are asking, the Blue Rangers asking about my guy from East Carolina, Mighty Pirates, Reveal.
Oh, that's a corner. That's a cornerback man in the draft.
Yeah. How about that? Yeah.
We're going to pick him at 14.
Man, I'll tell you what, this cat, if he didn't have, you talk about a knee injury, if he didn't have a knee injury, he'd be the best corner in this draft. I know people are in love, with Will Johnson and stuff like that at Michigan. I'm not particular. I think Will Johnson's a first round player, but I wouldn't take him. I think he's one of these guys that the media scouts are talking about very, 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 very high. And then when we get to the combine and all-star games and stuff like that, it's going to be, it's going to be maybe Will Johnson's going to be picked right where, where he probably should have been picked, probably in the, the 20s.
Oh, or maybe at like 15 or 16 where the Cowboys are picking, or
could be. Yeah, no, could be Will Johnson. I wouldn't be super, super jumpy up and down about that one, but I could clearly understand why they would do it.
So this is just my draft thing, because yesterday when I asked for Cowboy questions and people are talking about what do they need and what positions should they pick in the first round, and I just want to say it over and over and beat this drum to death. Maybe this helps you, by the way, the fact that the Cowboys need kind of everything.
Take whatever on the board. This is going to be the best available player draft at least in the first round. In the first round, it's going to be that way. And
just think about what happens when your team does that. When they lost the corners that they wanted in a prior draft for need, they were like, okay, well, we know who our best player is, so let's move back 2 spots and just still take him. Hello, Micah Parsons. When CeeDee Lamb got picked 17th, he fell in their lap. Their need was Caleb Von Chason and a pass rusher, but they were like, well, let's just pick the best player. pick the best player, it works out well. When you pick because you need a run-stopping one technique, whoops. When you pick because you need a left tackle, whoops. Pick the best player.
Edge.
When you pick, well, they had a good one there. The best player was available.
They picked the wrong edge. That was the problem. There you go. I like
he was there.
The best player on the board was there. They just didn't pick him in that particular time.
Pick the best effing player. We'll help you find him, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Pick Micah Parsons, and don't worry about it. You'll have a number 2 receiver for a decade. It'll be great. You'll be happy.
And I'll tell you what, this wide receiver crew, you need more than just one catch a game. You know, that's what they're kind of getting from their other guys. They're getting one catch. Just nice route. I know I was very critical of Tolbert. Nice job on the touchdown of him he's on the deep over, and he just kind of buys himself some space by getting a little bit further north. Yeah. And Cooper Rush still did a great job of sealing that edge off to get Cooper to the outside. They're going to try and run they do the college play, Jeff, where they fake that they bring Turpin in motion. Yeah. And they got Cooks kind of acting like he's blocking. So they're going to fake the screen and then try and get Cooks up the field on the wheel. But Carolina does a pretty good job, but you got Brooks trying to clear, and then it turns into the deep over. And Cooper Rush did a good job of finding him and getting him the ball. Good adjusting catch and stuff like that. So
sounds like my guy's coming up with some nice plays. Sounds like my head coach.
You know what? Your guy who I was fighting you with last week, the Turpin runs were actually pretty creative. They did it a couple of different ways with bringing Turpin in the backfield, having Hunter Lipke kind of offset. And then one time they zone it, the last time they zone it, where they just kind of block everybody, in that area. They all take a step. Ferguson and Steele and Bass, all those guys take a step and kind of got it walled off. The first time they pull Bass and kind of get a crack, and then they get it around the corner. But yeah, I mean, they offset Hunter Lipke, get him on the outside, a little blocking going on, man. All right. That's what we're doing. I like it.
CD, all plays. Double motion into a wheel once you've established its man coverage for a tutty, little delay corner for a tutty, little Mike McCarthy, my guy. Yeah. We're figuring it out in week 500.
No, that's what Alec Ventura is telling you right now. Too bad it took to week 15, lost season to do it. Yeah, here we are. Yeah,
we're getting it all figured out.
We're getting it done, man. We're like figuring out that hey, we got some players. We just can kind of get them going the right direction.
Okay, can I ask you a question, Brian?
Sure.
How come
I'm here?
How come the rest of the team hates Dak? How come as soon as they lose their starting quarterback,
they start playing great or better?
They start being able to run the hell out of the ball, and I don't just mean
it's McCarthy. It's your guy, man. It's your guy. I'll tell you what.
Now we can play great defense, and now we can run the hell out of the ball as soon as we don't have a quarterback. This is fun.
I'll say this though. They were really hurting at right guard. Zach Martin was hurting them at right guard. I mean, and he wasn't healthy enough. And that was a big. Now, I mean, they plug in. I'm not gonna lie to you. Next week, I'd like to see
Brock play a lot of football.
I'd like to see Brock Hoffman stay at center and Cooper Beebe play right guard next week.
Okay.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Just to kind of, because you're probably going to get Beebe back. I'd like to see Beebe play a little guard next week and see how that kind of looks.
So
that make any sense?
Yeah, no, it does. I mean, it's been a few weeks and Hoffman's played guard and now center, and they just keep being able to run block really well. The pass protection's not bad, and so
Steele has been 1,000% better. They got a healthy right guard, which really, really helps. Your center was getting better. In the run block and stuff. Smith is a monster over there. He had a block on a CD screen that just poor JC Horn was just like minding his own business at the bus stop and just got waylaid.
You got to try to give your teammates a chance.
Yeah. I mean, he's like, oh, I'm going to turn it in. And then next thing you know, he's knocked underneath the Dallas bench over there. But yeah, I mean, you're getting better play. Adoga kind of stabilized things. Adoga goes out. Guyton wasn't terrible. The offensive line is actually, they're playing, they kind of, your center's growing and your right guard is healthy, and your right tackle is playing much better as a run blocker, and that's really helping the situation. Why? And then of course you're committed to handing the ball to the right guy. So yeah.
That's also, yeah, shout out to this team. It's weird because like they do a good job, and there's the part of you that's happy because the team that you want to see do well is doing well,
Yeah.
and there's the part of you that is raging. How in the world did it take you to week 10 or whatever
Oh no.
to realize you only have
Well,
one good running back, and we knew it within 6 minutes of the first practice?
Well, that's and you got to wonder if this is where the general manager influenced the head coach. And then the head coach said, okay, I'm going to play your running back and I'm going to show you he can't play. I would be interested to hear Mike McCarthy's explanation on that. Mike McCarthy does have a say in personnel. He does. And people think that he doesn't. He really does. He even admitted it to you that he has more say here than he did at Green Bay. Said it at a podium here not too long ago. So Mike McCarthy does have a say what goes on here. I just wonder if Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones and Will McClay influenced him to play Ezekiel Elliott. And then all of a sudden, boom, you've played against some defenses that haven't been very good run defenses. Cincinnati, not a good run defense. Carolina, not a good run defense. Giants, not a good run defense. I mean, that helps. I'm not making excuses, but it helps. My God. But I'll tell you this, Dallas wasn't a good run defense for a long time this season. The last 3-4 weeks, they've been a much better. I mean, they didn't let Chuba Hubbard kill them in this football game yesterday. And that's what I was worried about. And I've been worried about Tracy, and I've been worried about Brown with Cincinnati. And I've been, you worry about these RB1s. Now, coming down the pike is the Tampa kid, Bucky Irvin, is going to be a pain in the ass to deal with. And then you got that, Saquon Barkley. He's going to be trying to break Eric Dickerson's rushing record. And there's possibility Dallas could probably give that up, but they have been playing better.
I think Tampa's offensive coordinator is going to be a head coach name, and I would be very interested. Like if
which coach? I'm sorry.
His name is Liam. I don't know his last.
Liam Cohen.
Is that yeah?
Yeah.
But when you watch them,
Cohen.
when you
I've watched him
play. They do things.
I've watched him with the Rams. I've watched him when he went to Kentucky. He said, you know what? I really like Kentucky, but I'm going back to the Rams. So he's like every other year he coaches pro ball, college ball, pro ball. Now he's back in pro ball again.
A friend of McVay. That's good on the resume.
Yeah, he's an interesting cat when it comes to. I mean, you look at what Kentucky's done, with their team, and when they were really kind of humming along on offense. He did a really, really nice job with the play calling stuff.
So now some of the guys that we need to talk about include Rico Dowdle, because the games that he's had, you mentioned the run defenses they've played against, but now as we get towards the end of the season and we had our Stephen Jones telling you that we can't afford anybody, and it's great.
And you went after Stephen Jones. You made a big old podcast about it.
I don't remember.
You did. You and Mike Fisher. Mike Fisher went after him too. I mean,
it's just my mission. I just want to educate the fan base.
I don't know. It's good for you. You know what? I really don't know. I'm terrible with numbers, and so I always left that to the cap guys and gals to talk about. I totally get what you guys are talking about, flipping switches and numbers, this, that, and the other. I could say it'll be interesting to see. I always say it'll be interesting. Can they get Osa Odighizuwa done? Can they get Jourdan Lewis done? They're into signing their own. Let me ask you a question real quick, Jeff, before you get into what you're talking about here.
I dare you.
Are you okay with signing Osa, this being like his best year, the best we've seen him? Because we usually see Osa in week 13, week 14, and it kind of, that's it. He's done. He's wore out. Are you okay paying him on really kind of a 1 year, what you've seen just really from 1 year, or have you seen enough from him through all his years to feel good about paying that guy?
I think I know who he is, and I'm good with paying it. The problem, I think, what jams you up here is what that defensive tackle room looks like if you don't. Because if you don't, it's Mozzie Smith sitting in a room by himself. That's who's under contract for the Cowboys.
Oh, the linebackers are the same way, Jeffrey.
Yeah, so you're going to run out of players. So I think it's hard not to, but if he has played his way, I was donging around with overthecap.com because they'll do projections on what a guy's value is just based on comparing him to other players.
Can they afford him?
And Osa, they have as like an $11 million player per year. And I think at that number, I would do it. And it's definitely doable. But is that too much for the Cowboys? Because they're calling him an $11 million player. They're calling Chauncey Golston. What's that?
What are they calling Lewis?
They're calling Chauncey Golston a $9 million player. They're calling Jourdan Lewis. Where did it? I did look that one up too. Hold on. Jourdan Lewis.
Because I'm going to ask you this question. You can only have one, Jourdan Lewis or Osa Odighizuwa.
Jourdan Lewis, their valuation is $5.744 million per year. And he's on a
$1 year,
like a deal. God, they're both massive needs positions too.
Yeah.
If I could only have one.
And I'm not trying to put you in a hole. I'm just trying to say it makes you think which one. Me personally, I think Jourdan Lewis has been one of your best defensive players the entire season.
Yeah, and I think this is some corny Jason Garrett stuff. I think Jourdan Lewis goes about it the right way, and I'm not saying anything negative about Osa. I just think Jourdan is one of my favorite players, just because the way he does all of it, the way that he handles the
when they were bad, he was playing good. He was a bad like that team on defense was bad, and he was the one guy that every week you're kind of like going, God, at least he didn't play terrible.
Yeah. You know? I mean, if the
Cowboys look at all the love for Jourdan Lewis in your chat, all that love for J. Lou in the chat.
I mean, J. Lou's he's the dude, man. He's now become the old man in the locker room. I feel like a lot of times if things don't go well, media folks will be like, "Yeah, there was nobody in the locker room," but we talked to Jourdan. He'll handle it. He'll do the adult stuff. And I don't know. I just think that I think he's a good player and a good dude. I think he's super tough. I think he's good. He's putting together probably his best year coming off of multiple big time injuries at the age of 29. Osa is probably the right answer. Just because they have nothing at D tackle and it's hard to replace. And maybe I can find a slot guy. I don't know. That's a hard question. And then
I'll tell you what, I'd like to see Osa play next to Mason Graham from Michigan. That would kind of do my heart some good.
Yeah, I think if you put Osa next to somebody who can play, that would be fun.
And Mozzie wasn't terrible yesterday. Mozzie's doing a much better job of getting off the football. A much better job of getting off the football.
Yeah, and
that's encouraging. Yeah,
I like what I really, really, really want in my life is I want dudes in the middle that break things. And so if I don't have Osa, I'm getting so far away from having what I want. And what I want is somebody just wrecking shit on the interior so that Micah Parsons isn't having 9 pressure games with no sacks and none of the pressures lead to sacks like the Bengals game where it's just like, I need some help. I can't have quarterbacks who have a free escape wherever I'm not when I'm out here just wrecking games. So I want to stack up the interior of the defense. I want Osa out there and I want a dude next to him. And I'm getting way too far away from that if I don't even have Osa. So I think I want to bring him back. I want to bring Jourdan Lewis back too. And I think both of those are very doable. Chauncey Golston, if he's really a $9 million player, that might be that's a comp pick for us. Rico's the one that I find the most interesting.
Yeah.
I have no idea what Rico's value is. Is he because I think 6 weeks ago, you could have given him a 2-year, $4 million contract extension. And now I think it's at least 4 per year and maybe it's more. If teams are just looking at what he's done since he's been the lead back, you're like, oh crap. But I don't know. You're 27 years old. You've never done
injuries. Yeah.
You've been hurt. And so I don't know.
Hurt, but low mileage, right? On the guy?
Yes. Yeah. And so I have no idea.
Everybody,
is he a $2 or $3 million player? Or is he a 7 or 8? I have no idea.
Everybody that signed a veteran running back last year is benefiting from it right now. They really are.
Yeah, especially if you can block, which right now it's the weird thing is it looks like the Cowboys can now that they've lost all their starters. Because and I do think it's the running back world is interesting, right? And that you can make the case that, oh my God, they're so important. Look what Saquon's doing. Look what Henry's doing. And I would make the exact opposite point of right. And those exact same players, the last places they were couldn't win anything because they didn't have this. These teams do benefit, but the player benefits massively.
Player benefits massive. Yeah, on the good team. You're right about that.
And so Rico is tough. I want him back. I think the league won't value him enough for it to be hard to get him back. And then we can pick our third. Well, here's what I don't like, Brian. This is my ADHD here. I'm going to go 7 different directions. What I really don't like is, man, you know what pick we wanted to use to find the other running back for the backfield. It's the same one we wanted to use last year, but they set it on fire. We don't have it. Top of the 4th round would be a great place to find the other running back to put with Rico. Instead, you'll have to use a 3rd rounder, which means now, outside of running back, I've got 2 picks to try to make my team better, and I need 10 things. Yeah. I hate you, Jerry. And I don't mean that. And I don't mean that personal.
It's not personal. You football hate. You sports hate.
I football hate you for lighting 4th round picks on fire. Yeah. Oh, 8 dudes caught a ball yesterday in the Mingo revenge game. He wasn't one of them. And the undrafted free agent, that was the reason they were like, yeah, we'll just trade you for literally nothing.
Coker.
Like, this guy way better. He had 100 yards in the first 10 minutes of the game. Yeah. I don't like it. I want my 4th round pick back. I want it back. Find it.
I've looked at 3 of these running backs already. I'm interested to see how deep this thing goes. 3.
I've looked at 6.
Which 6? What are the 3 you looked at?
I looked at Genty, Omarion Hampton at North Carolina, Caleb Johnson at Iowa, Quinshawn Judkins at Ohio State, Trayvon Henderson at Ohio State.
There you go. I haven't looked at those Ohio State kids.
Dylan Sampson. Which Ohio State kid you like better?
I've not looked at them. That's what I was saying.
Oh, you have not. Okay.
No.
They're good. No. They're fine. They're running back.
I've been looking at a lot of offensive linemen, I feel like.
What a weirdo.
God, this West Virginia kid's driving me nuts.
You're a weirdo. We're gonna fight about draft stuff. I think we will. I know I'm gonna fight with Vach about draft stuff.
Oh no, Vach is already just like, he is hard to deal with. I mean, every night I have to deal with his insistence that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and I have to remind him that he didn't know what he's talking about either.
It's fair, and I think, to be fair to both of you, you're both right. But neither of you know what
neither one of we both don't know what the hell's going on for sure.
But I've just been doing, like, I'll watch other guys that play against guys I've already watched, and then I see something, and I've watched more of the guys that I've already watched, and I know that some of the guys that other people are like, yeah, not for me. I'm like, I mean, the more I see, the more I love them. And like the Georgia edge, Michael Williams.
Yeah, Williams.
Assuming reasonable development, I think he might end up being the best NFL player in the entire draft class. I'm looking at a dude that gets 4 sacks every year, and the production's not right, and it's not a finished product. And I'm watching him, and I know
that you're falling in love with the 6'5", 265-pound dude. Is what you're doing.
Sure the hell no. I'm falling in love with the 6'5".
You used to just evaluate players. Now you're really becoming a scout where you're just falling in love with measurables.
Yeah, I can fix him. No, he doesn't need fixing. He just needs tuning up and developing. No, I'm falling in love with 6'5", 265 that can forklift your left guard off of the world. And is athletic and is so I am falling in love with the toolsy guy.
Yeah,
but that's because, look, that's like Trayvon Walker when he was at Georgia. He should have never been picked over Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson ain't in this draft.
Yeah.
The finished product ain't in this draft. Abdul Carter is just a different version of the Georgia kid.
No, you're right.
He's just makes more plays. Once we figure it out.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. the better linemen in this draft is a 300-pound offensive tackle, Imbow from Purdue. I know you haven't seen him.
You don't know that.
You haven't seen him.
You don't know that.
Have you seen him?
I haven't seen him.
I figured you hadn't. Imbow is he's a right tackle at Purdue, and the kid is 300 pounds. I'm trying to
we can give him some snacks. Vach will tell you can put some peanut butter on him.
I tell you what, it was funny. Vach and I were talking about him, and I kind of feel like he needs to play center. I mean, he is super athletic. He's tough. I mean, everything about him is. He's 300 pounds. There was a time with me when I would like, oh, God, 300-pound tackle. But then I have been burned so many times by the David Bakhtiaris and the Nate Soldars and everybody that's ever been light. You know, what was my guy, Colton Miller, UCLA.
And he developed he wasn't good at
that's
first.
What I'm saying.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna sit there and poo-poo. Yeah.
Shout out to this one though, huh? See our Darius Washington's pick the other day?
Yeah, I did.
You see where a half decade later and my 5'7" safety is still playing in the league and starting for the Baltimore effing Ravens, huh? We've always said Baltimore knows what they're doing.
Baltimore always knows what they're doing. They sure do.
Our Darius Washington, baby.
It's nice to have one guy you can wear like that, you know?
Yeah, the whole league was like, no, you can't draft him. He's a practice squad guy. He's too small. Baltimore, half decade later, starting.
Yeah.
Take the tiny man sometimes. My man's a player.
Sometimes you just got to take the football player. How about that?
Yeah.
Just take the football player.
I'll help you guys out there because I know how toxic all of you are. Yes, Sky Moore. Okay.
Brian Peters asked about the Marshall edge.
Oh, I've heard he's really good, but I haven't watched him yet. I'm going to watch him and Tennessee guy tonight.
Yeah, no, he's Mike Green from Marshall.
Kick ass or what?
Transfer from Virginia. I'm not going to influence you.
You like him better than the Georgia guy, don't you?
I'm not going to influence you.
Oh, you can tell people. I don't care. Look,
I'm not going to influence you.
I like fighting you.
The gentleman's right. The gentleman's right. You should watch him. Watch him.
Well, then I'll watch him.
Yeah.
All right, Brian. Well, we got to go, dude. We have to go.
It's your fault, not mine. You're the one that runs the show. I just talk.
Oh, well, thanks for talking.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Have a great day, Brian. You're one of the best people.
Appreciate you, man.
Earth. Enjoy your 61st year and your new wallet.
Thank you, man. How about that? There's some folks out there that are not as old as that.
And don't think I didn't catch you said the word girlfriend. Congratulations to her. She's winning.
Thank you. Now, Dr. Michelle, she's cool. She's really cool.
You said doctor? Doctor. Boy, Brian is balling. Y'all remember, you have no idea what anyone's going through, and go to the doctor if you aren't feeling well.
Please go to the doctor. Yes.
Have a day. Goodbye forever.